All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonathan Evans. I'm the city manager here in Riviera Beach, and we want to welcome you all to the 13th Street discussion as it relates to traffic calming. Certainly, this is a item that has been discussed and talked about for a number of years, and you'll hear our Chairperson Lanier, communicate a little bit about the project and certainly what we're looking to accomplish out of here. But we've had the conversation, Chairperson Lanier and I, since 2017. So this is long overdue. We're excited about the opportunity to hear from the community with regards to what options you like. And then ultimately, Councilperson Lanier was instrumental with obtaining the funding already for this particular project. So the good thing is yes, round of applause. And even better than that is it's going to cost the taxpayers nothing, because she was actually very stern in her negotiations and conversations with UPS and said that a lot of your trucks end up coming down this street and are tearing up the roadways and creating for some challenges for our community. So they've already put aside $35,000 to do whatever option that the community selects, and so at no cost to the taxpayer. So conceivably, after you, the community, responds to the survey and we collect that information, we will be ready and queued up to go before the board and get the authorization necessary to do the improvements. So we're excited about being able to move this project forward a lot sooner rather than later. And so we're excited about today. So this is an opportunity for you to hear some of the engineering solutions, to ask questions of our consultants and staff, and hopefully we can come out here with a couple of good options and then move forward accordingly. And without further ado, I'm going to recognize and ask for our Chairperson Shirley Lanier, to share some comments and remarks concerning this project.
Well, thank you, good people. I'm glad that you guys came out tonight. We had the last meeting over at the marina, and we had 3 people that showed up. So Mr. Evans said, listen, why don't we just have it in the middle of the street? Then we can get as many people as we can to come out and be able to participate. And as you know, I live right here in this red and white house. I was born in this house so many years ago. I'm not going to say how many years ago, but I've been living on the street basically all my life. And, you know, every morning I would get up and I would see all these UPS trucks. And then I would see all these big, long trucks. And the young ladies, your 18-wheelers, and the trucks got propane tanks on them. They have, sometimes we don't even know what they have in them. So if they fall off the truck or whatever happens, we would have no idea what was on it. So I wanted to be able to bring the community out to be able to say, what can we do about it? We have several options, and I have an engineer here who's going to go over some of the options with you, but I want us to come together, make this decision so we can get started on this. I don't want to wait till next year this time. I don't want to wait until, I want to get this started right away. So let us get this show on the road, and any questions that you have in terms of how we're going to do this, meaning which option that we may have, you can always ask the questions of the engineer. So you want to come on up now so we can kind of explain? Yes, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Suzanne Dombrowski, and I'm with Chen Moore & Associates, and we are civil engineers that we work with the city. So my job is to try to make your streets better. And I'm really excited that everyone's here, because to make your streets better, we want to hear what you want as well. So we do understand there's a lot of truck traffic through here. So we've come up with some different choices on how we can possibly slow that truck traffic down. And so we've been discussing this with the city, again, for a long time. We've sort of narrowed it down to 3 different options that we think would best fit here on this street. And these options are all things that they've been studied across the country, different applications, a lot of people trying to study the effectiveness of them. So one of the first alternative we have, they're called chicanes. Sometimes people call them bump outs. It's where you have kind of like a little curb median out on the side of the road, and we have a little mock-up of one here. So as you're looking at those cones, the first thing that comes to mind, at least when I look at it, it looks really small, right? Can 2 cars drive through that? So the idea is it's supposed to look small. As you're coming up in your car, that makes you slow down. They're spaced a certain way. This might not be where they actually go, but the idea is that when you're approaching this, it looks small. You have to slow down. You have to look for oncoming traffic. You have to look at what's around you. So this is one idea. You can have these with like landscape, with bricks, and you'll see that on this poster here. The second alternative we have is a traffic circle, kind of a small roundabout. And again, this makes traffic slow down as you approach. You have to turn around it. You can't go straight through. However, they do have measures so that you can still get fire trucks around it, garbage trucks around it, emergency vehicles. They have something up here. It's called a mountable curb. So if these larger vehicles can't make the turn without touching that curb, they can go up on it. It's designed that way. And our third alternative is a partial road closure. So this is the most drastic alternative. It's going to be the most effective. So you are preventing vehicles from coming westbound on 13th Street. So this is going to be proposed, it would be just on the other side of that intersection, so the east side here of Avenue R, between the canal and Avenue R. So the issue that everyone has to understand with this, obviously if it's going to stop the truck traffic, it's also going to stop residents from coming west. The emergency vehicles, fire, police, they'll go around that if they have to, just like they would on a normal 2-lane street. They would go around people. But it is going to be an inconvenience for the neighborhood if you're coming west. You would not be able to go this way either. So those are the three options that we have. We do have some things up here. We'd like everyone to vote on it because we really want to know what your opinion is. We've got an online survey that you can find on the website, I believe. We have these circles up here, green and red. So you can come up, you can put a circle on the board on the option that you like the best. Use green for your first choice, red for your second choice. And then just please make sure you sign in because we want to keep you informed as we go through the process and you can know, what the decision is and what the city wants to move forward with. So I'm happy to take any questions if you have questions on these options. Sure.
Okay, I don't reside here, but I'm homesteading for someone. I have a concern because I've been noticing
Test.
the trucks coming through the propane tank stop down there. That was kind of super dangerous for her because that's kind of like right in front of her house. With the roundabout, you know how people are impatient, they can't wait, and they really don't pay attention to like a 4-way stop sign. So that's what it's supposed to be, right? The roundabout.
So at the roundabout, there's different options. Sometimes on the smaller roundabouts, they still keep the stop signs, and sometimes they don't. They might keep 2-way stop signs. The idea of the roundabout is really supposed to be to slow the traffic and not stop it. But you are right. People sometimes don't pay attention, and any measure you use is going to take people a little while to get used to.
Right, I understand that. Change is good.
Yeah, and it might take a year for them to really get the hang of it, and then you'll see the effects better.
Yeah.
Or less time, depending on who's driving through here.
Okay then, I understand. I'm just, I just wanted to know because I just know people just, their ear blew. Why is it a road? Why they put this here? So they already don't stop at 4-way stop signs.
Yes.
Right there on the corner, you have people that don't pay attention to that 4-way stop sign at all.
So one of the things with this one, if you have a regular vehicle and you go through this at high speed, you are risking damage to your car. That's a mountable curb. That's a mountable curb for large vehicles. If you hit that fast, you are going to risk damage to your car, which is supposed to slow people down, hopefully. We also put these different signs out, really reflective signs, especially at night. There's some concerns that people can't see it. So they have these reflective signs. They really bounce back at you in your traffic light.
How many roundabouts will they be? Would it be just one, or would it be one section here, one in the middle, or one down? How many would there be?
So that's up for discussion. One in the middle is not going to work because we just need too much space. You'd have to end up having to take people's houses, and we don't want that. So at the intersections, we could make it work, but we wouldn't be able to put one in the middle.
What about these speed humps here?
These speed humps, so they can stay. There's no reason for them to, it'll help. These things can work in combination with each other. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
All right, that's all for my questions then.
Yeah. So the idea is to try and do a bunch of things to encourage people to go a different way if they want to go fast or if they have large trucks. We want to make it inconvenient for them to use this route.
Okay. Well, also too, I got one last question for you. I don't know if this is in the planned budget or not. You know how with the tickets, with the cameras?
Mm-hmm.
Could you also look at something like when you, depending on the decision that people vote on, have you thought about maybe with those large trucks? Okay, we're supposed to share the road, you have to abide by the rules and regulations. So, you wanna come through here with those big trucks? Okay, we got your license tag, we got your name of your company, you'll be fined.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's something the city would love to entertain or jot down. At least I'm seeing shaking heads. We'll take it down and it'll be discussed.
Okay.
I
then
can't
just-
promise anything on our
Just giving
side.
you some other alternatives.
Yeah, no, it's a good
'Cause you know,
idea.
when you-
Enforcement is always part of speed.
When you
Right.
hit the pocket, people obey.
Mhm.
They don't like to pay up.
It's true.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a, yes. Can you explain a little bit about alternative 3 in reference to what she said about the emergency vehicles? I got sort of lost.
So with option 3, cars, vehicles will be able to go east. So you'd be able to head east down 13th Street, and then it would turn into a one-way here. So you would be going one-way east just for this small section. If cars are coming west, they would have to turn and head north or south. They would not be able to come through. So it would have a curb, maybe some grass. We're not really sure what the final design would be yet, but it would stop them. There would be one lane open. However, in the case of emergency, fire, police, as you know, if there is an obstruction in one lane, they will use the lane next to them. Hopefully I'm not misspeaking again for police.
So with the emergency vehicles, they'll come either way to get to the citizens if they need some help. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll come up the one way, however way they need to get to us, they'll come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to add? If there was an emergency, would you go around this obstruction?
Emergency vehicles cannot be stopped, so if it's a police car, this is not gonna be a problem. Fire truck, it's gonna slow them down a little bit, but they'll still be able to get through. They're gonna have to go up on the, which one is option 3?
This one. So they'd be coming, the wrong way down a one-way section for a small part.
The idea, I would hope
Mhm.
this curve weighing on it, but option 3 would not be ideal for emergency vehicles. They're not gonna like it. The fire department would not like that option 3 because of, but I would probably have the fire chief to weigh in on that. I don't see them liking option 3.
All right, I understand. I mean, time is everything for a fire department, right? Their biggest concern is getting there in the shortest amount of time, and if this causes some sort of indecision on how to get there, then that would impact their time.
Other questions?
At the previous meeting, at the previous meeting, we were discussing, I believe it's option 2 with the roundabouts.
Mhm.
I'm sitting here watching the city bus go around right now. Look at it going around. Wow. So eventually, if we had one roundabout on the west side, or that's the east side, or one on the other side, we're gonna have traffic coming down 12th Street, my street, the best street. We're gonna have more traffic, which already comes down 11th Street. How are we gonna stop the traffic from going other ways versus just 13th Street? Has that been discussed?
So the main idea of having things that you call on kind of the entrance to the neighborhood
Right.
is we're really trying to deter the truck traffic, make them take the main routes. We want them on Martin Luther King, on Congress, on Australian to get where they need to go. That's really the most appropriate street for them to be on. So having those at kind of the entrance to the community, it's not supposed to route them to another residential street. It's really supposed to route them onto the main roads,
Okay.
your 6-lane roads.
So are we going with one roundabout or two roundabouts? Or is that up for discussion still?
That's up for discussion. I mean, it all depends on what the city's budget is, what the public wants to do. So that would be up for discussion, yeah.
Okay.
No one here?
Do the people that the big trucks, the companies, do they know that we're doing this, and do they know that we have an issue with that, and why are we in communication with anybody from them that are like understanding what our issues are? And what's their take on this? Because there's a lot of, like we're going through a lot if it's about big
I understand.
trucks. and
Obviously,
just-
we want to talk to them before you spend money on correcting a problem. So it is important that they know about it. I believe UPS has been involved in the process, right? And they are very aware of the project.
Thank you. I can speak to that. We've had conversations with UPS. They've actually addressed their drivers and communicated some of the frustration and the concerns the neighborhood has. I've actually addressed the drivers myself with executives from UPS. But what happens is, as attrition occurs, a new wave of drivers happen, and then they get back to what they used to do. And so the only way that we know that we can at least deter some of the traffic is some of the solutions that we have here. But we have had conversations. We will continue to have conversations. But even some of the other businesses that have located here, we've had conversations about not cutting through the neighborhood. And eventually it may taper down for 4, 5, 6 months, and then it gets right back into those particular situations that we're trying to address. The other side of it as well is when we're looking at UPS trucks and Amazon trucks and what have you, remember they're still providing service in the community, so we have to be conscientious of what type of traffic control measures we deploy, because they are delivering products and goods to the community. So, but we have had that conversation.
Anyone?
Exactly, and so what we're trying to do is just discourage them. You want to take the easiest route possible when you're working. You want to get there as fast as you can. Oh, sorry, not trying to cut corners, but you want to get there as fast as you can, right? And so we're trying to make them go slower and be inconvenienced if they go this way.
So for me, it's bigger than just trucks. I look at more or less the crime, and so it helps with our police to where if an individual is stole a vehicle or things like that, these measures could deter them from running through our neighborhoods, and it could also help the police department. So we have to look at it bigger than just a UPS truck. My office is up the street, and I could contest, I may not live here, but I'm here 50, 60 hours every week, 7 days a week, and there's a lot of unnecessary traffic that flows through here. A lot of it speed. I heard another young lady speak. This, every morning I look at the kids that's walking to school for Bethune-Cookman. I'm afraid every day there's a kid that's going to get killed by a car because they don't pay attention, they don't look. Some individuals are conscientious. Everybody are not working people, I'll put it like that. And some people fly through because you don't know what motives are on their mind. But if there's a roundabout to where it could slow that person from doing 60 miles an hour and slow them down to doing 20, it just may save one life. So to me, it's bigger than just trucks. We have to look at the larger picture of it all.
Yes, thank you very much. That was a great comment, great perspective. So as we know, there are things, you're gonna see a vehicle speed over the speed hump. There are gonna be people that don't care. They're just going to try to take it as fast as they can. But if you have a visual obstruction right in the middle of your traffic lane, right in the middle of the street, it's hard to not see it, and it's hard to not slow down. So yeah, you are gonna get some people that don't pay attention, but the majority of people, they are forced to slow down with that.
Okay, at one point, it was signs on down here by the stop sign and this way, and it said no trucks unless delivery. That was taken down like a couple of years ago. And even now, like the gentleman said, it's not only the trucks, but it's people in cars. And you could tell just as, I live in the second house down here, and you could tell this is good when they don't stop for the stop sign, and they gut down 13th Street all through the night with those heavy whatever things. Okay. And sometimes it almost, and the music and stuff, almost shake you inside your house. It's totally uncalled for. And you could tell good when a car coming and don't stop. The way they're going, now I've seen them go straight through all kinds of people, okay? And, but anyway, thank you for working on it.
So if you are seeing people that, see, he can't go here. So if there are issues with people not stopping at the stop signs, there's also other things we can work with the city on. There's things, they call them rumble strips, so that, you hit it and it makes a loud noise and it kind of wakes you up a little bit if you're not paying attention. There's other things that are pretty low cost options that we can also work with the city on near the stop signs.
I do want to address the sign thing. So the reason the signs were removed is because they're legally unenforceable. There's county gas tax money and federal monies that go to help build some of the infrastructure. So conceivably, we had signs on there that we could not enforce. So I don't want to have things where somebody calls and says you have a sign that says no trucks down this road, and then PD comes out and says we can't stop them, we can't do anything. So we didn't want to. The signs were a placebo. They were intended to let folks know that, hey, no truck traffic is supposed to go through there, but it's not the reality of it. There was no enforcement mechanism. So we didn't want to have a false item up there that the community thinks that there's some policy or some rule to regulate trucks when there really isn't, and we can't. So we wanted to manage the expectation and be honest with the community to say, if I can't enforce it, I can't enforce it. So that's why we've gotten to this particular conversation. We even went as far as doing an engineering assessment on that infrastructure that's there, because if we deemed through an engineering analysis that the structure would not be able to accommodate the truck traffic, then we can restrict the trucks. So we've gone additional steps to find out what is ways to reduce the truck traffic, and this is the best solution, but we did do it through a process that got us to this point.
Thank you. So to add to that about the signs, there are some types of signs that we can put up that'll help. And again, it's not an enforcement issue, it's more just an awareness thing. So you can put big yellow signs that says neighborhood traffic calming. So if you're a truck and you see that, you don't want to go through that neighborhood. If you can turn onto Congress, if you can turn on Australian. So they're going to see those signs every day on their routes, and they're going to get used to them, and they're going to hopefully not use these routes anymore.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Evans, thank you. I know who you are, but I don't live in Rivera. And Ms. Lanier, I would like to apologize on that lady's behalf, because we're not here to tear down anybody. Nobody deserved that. You didn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? And instead of saying thank you, it was a tear down, and we don't need that here. What I would like to say is, what she's misinformed about is Google knows all the roads. That's what they send those cards out to find out what your address is, what these roads are. So before she just attacks Ms. Lanier, she need to do a homework. So it's not fair. Again, I apologize for her, you know.
I'm Chief Nate Osgood. I've been here now, I think 14, 15 months. And every violent crime that has occurred in this community, I can tell you firsthand that Chairperson Lanier has been involved. She's out here talking to me, so thank you. So I just want to clear that up. Now, maybe she hasn't seen her, and sometimes the crowd get pretty big, but I can tell you firsthand, I've been on every scene, and so has Chairperson Lanier.
I'm over here on 14th Street here, and my gate gets hit at least 2 or 3 times a month. My mailbox, I don't even put it up anymore, because when they come around this curve, they take out the gate when you first come in, then they take out when you open it up, and then they take out the mailbox. So is there anything where we can get a speed bump on that curve right over here? 14th Street, right here on this curve. From this gray house here, all the way to my house, is nothing but kids. And when they turn that corner there, it's a wrap.
Yeah, so if you wouldn't mind, if you see us after the meeting, we can make sure to take your name, because I know it's a bit of a different thing than what this meeting was about, and we'll discuss that with Public Works.
So what, we only have certain things to talk about because I have a complaint too. I stay on 14th Street and I have an alley back here and everything is back there. I mean, the grass is, and it's in danger to my kids. I have two twin granddaughters and they can't even play in their backyard, which I have a lot of space back there because we have all this mess. I don't know what, but I've called the city several times to have somebody to come and clean that alley out. I don't know if this is the meeting or not, but I figure this is about as good as any.
Well, we were here for one
I can't seem
reason.
to get anyone on the phone.
Yeah, we will take all of these notes and we'll make sure that we have that down.
What we can do, you see the gentleman in the white shirt? He'll have a crew out there tomorrow.
I would appreciate it very much.
So make sure you tell him exactly where you want him.
I most certainly will.
And what time you want him there.
Okay. That's me.
Behind my house, if you let me put a gate there to keep folks from keep going through the trailway.
Well, that's a larger conversation, but we are thinking about having the discussion with the community as it relates to, we have a lot of alleyways and some of them are easements for utilities. But we're also looking for opportunities for the residents to take responsibility and possibly expand their property line into those alleyways, because when we have to put crews back there, there's other things that they're not doing. So we're having the internal conversation. So that's something that's going to come to the board for additional discussion. So it may end up resolving itself. But if there are issues with regards to vegetation, alleyways, the gentleman in the white shirt, Mr. Clark, will definitely make sure we have a crew out there.
Any more questions? For the record.
From this speed bump to that speed bump seems to be a good distance. Why wasn't that like an addition of a couple more speed bumps added, or those strips that you were talking about? Why weren't they included in this to say as an option?
So, since we already have speed bumps on the corridor, we were looking at something different because apparently that is not working enough. So we were looking at something different. Now, the distance between the speed bumps, again, there's national standards that sort of give guidance on how those should be spaced out, and it's based on a typical vehicle, how much they can accelerate in between the two speed bumps. So that's how these were set. It's based on those standards. But again, we can still look at, measures in between the two.
Right, because I mean, I like to drive fast personally myself. So no, I'll play aside. I like to drive fast. So from here to there is a good. If I wanted to drive fast, is a good distance to get up some speed. So I understand what you're saying as far as the national standard, blah blah blah. But at like here, 13th Street, that's a good distance for me to get some speed up if that's what I wanted to do. So for me, if not 2-3 speed bumps in between here would just be, I understand it might be overkill as far as you're concerned, as far as speed bumps are concerned. But if you're trying to traffic calm the traffic, to me that would be more of a deterrent versus, what. I don't, just as good, just
No,
as well as a deterrent.
I understand. It's true. It is going to calm the traffic down. Of course, we're always trying to weigh the inconvenience of what we do to the residents, as well as blocking the people that we don't want speeding. So we're trying to weigh both options on that one.
And one of the other things we have to be conscientious is when we put these it also slows down first responders as well. And so we have to be conscientious. And anytime the back of those fire trucks have a fiberglass tank that hold large quantities of water, and so they really hate going down roadways that have speed bumps because there is a chance for damage to that fiberglass tank. So just things to consider.
Anybody else? Any further questions? Okay.
At the last meeting, it was a gentleman, I think he was from Palm Tran, and we were concerned about the disabled people and the people who use that as a means of transportation. Have these cleared the county engineering as far as palm treeing?
So we have not gone all the way through county engineering yet. We really wanted to see what options the residents were most interested in before we, cleared that with the county.
If there are no more questions, you want to go through the voting one more time so everybody's clear?
So we've got these little stickers up here, and they're all cut up. We'll give one to everybody that wants to vote, and you'll get a green circle and a red circle. So whatever option you think is your first preference, if you could put the green circle on it, just put it anywhere on the board around in those lines, and you can use the red one as your second choice. And again, just put it right on the board.
Explain it one more time.
Sure. All right, alternative one is the chicanes, what we call bump outs. So it's going to be a curb that kind of bumps out, and it's going to make the road is going to kind of do an S shape, which makes you slow down. And they'll be about the size of what you see here in the cones. Again, that might not be the exact placement, but they'll be roughly that size. Alternative 2 is a traffic circle, and we're showing it here on the east side. If the feedback is that we want it on the west side, we can always talk to the city about that. But again, that's just, I think, the mini roundabout traffic circle. And then alternative 3 is doing the partial road closure. So the lane on the north would be closed to traffic, and only traffic could only go east through that section. Yeah.
And are we saying by default that, or would you agree by default that common traffic on this street is going to directly affect all the other streets, like make traffic go those ways?
I've been asked to make an announcement too, just as a reminder that there's also a survey online. So if you want to mention that to your neighbors who weren't able to join us tonight, it's going to be surveymonkey.com/r/traffic13. You don't have to remember that. I'm sure Mrs. Lanier is going to have it on her page as well. And or if you go to see any of us, we can help you with that before you leave tonight, because I'm sure she would like as many of your friends and neighbors to vote as we can.
And so to answer your question, by putting traffic calming on 13th Street, we don't believe that they're going to take the other residential streets. It's a longer way, it's still a slower road. So the main goal of this, again, is to get you got businesses on either side that are using this in between. And if they can use the larger roads that are more appropriate for the larger trucks, then that's what this is supposed to discourage them from doing.
You went back to the big trucks. I'm more so talking about people like myself and these younger kids that's just getting their driver license. They're just riding around here, because you might not see it right now, but on these other streets, we have a lot of children that's playing out in the streets and whatnot. So you're saying that you don't believe that it's going to increase traffic in other areas. I believe that it will, and then that's putting the kids that's playing out here in these streets at more danger. And this is a good straightaway, but they come around on 14th Street where I stay as well, and they're driving fast from time to time. So I understand that we're trying to solve this problem, but to me it's gonna create a bigger problem, and I'm like, I guess we're here for right now, but you don't believe that it's gonna create more traffic on these other streets. You think it's just gonna slow it down, and it's like if 50 cars are trying to come through here, you think that, and we put these bump outs here, the roundabouts, you think that's not gonna, it's gonna decrease the 50 cars or just slow them down?
Thank you. So that is a very good comment, because I can't control where people are going, and I don't fully understand where every vehicle that comes through here is going. We just can't. So, we do our best on the knowledge that we have, but these traffic circles, it's a great point, because when you go through a roundabout, even if you're just turning right, you still have to deal with the roundabout. So if I come to this roundabout, if I turn right, I'm still dealing with it. If I go straight, if I turn left, I have to deal with it either way. So in my opinion, I don't think they would choose to go down a different road because that roundabout is there. They're having to deal with it no matter what. with the chicanes, that's a good point, that if they see those there, they might want to go a different street. In your mind, if you were doing that, you'd say, well, this is longer, this is slower, which one do I want to do? Right? So that's what's going to be going through their head.
So I just wanted to say that let us get this show on the road here. I want you guys to vote. I want to, as I said from the very beginning, I want to be able to start this project as soon as possible. I don't want to, wait around until next year this time and we're just getting started. I want to go ahead and have the community's input about how we're going to do this, which option we're going to take, and then be able to go ahead and get started. So do we have the stickers? You got the stickers? Oh, okay, yeah, we can start handing them out now. Let's start handing them out so that people can come up and start making their choices. And also, I have do you guys have a raffle ticket in your hand? Get somebody, who doesn't have a raffle ticket? Because we have 2 items to raffle off. And make sure that if you did not sign in, make sure you sign in at the back table so that we can make sure we can get in contact you and keep you up to date in regards to this project. Now, where is the item, Chanel? Okay.
We take their contact information, and we have to call the Brown Electrical.
Okay.
Brown Electrical.
Where's Brown Electrical? Brown Electric, there you go. Explain to them what they're going to get if they win this raffle, sir.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. My name is Vincent Brown, the owner of Brown Electrical Solutions, based right up the street on 13th Street. Just on the other side of the train tracks is my office. I live here. I work here. I have 16 employees. 10 of my 16 employees are Riviera Beach residents. I'm the first and the only African-American electrical contractor in the union. I am a union contractor. So today's raffle is, and I also attend Greater Bethel Primitive Baptist Church for 18 years. So today's raffle is my company is giving out, hold on one second. Doug, you want to out-talk me, Doug? That's my council person, I like. But so Brown Electrical Solutions is very concerned about the crime in our city. And so what I want to do is raffle off 2 Ring cameras to anybody who wins the raffle. My company will purchase and install the Ring camera for free. We will program it to your phone. Hopefully, what I would like to do is put a Ring camera on every house in Federal Gardens, so that way we can assist with the police department when there are unnecessary crimes, whether it's speeding or others, that somebody could record the footage, give it to the police department, and that we could solve more of our crimes. So that's pretty much what the raffle is for.
The first person that gets the ring light, what comes with it?
Buddy. Can he come up here?
Let him pick.
Yeah, let him pick.
Come on, little man. Come on, pick out.
Man. Come on up here. Come on, man.
Come on,
Be a
pick the
good
ticket.
boy.
Come on, pick the ticket, man. Just pick one ticket, baby. Pick one ticket. Oh, let's see. That ain't nobody got their name on. Well, the ticket last last 3 numbers of the ticket is 553. Who is that? 5. Oh, there we go. 553. We got one more. Did y'all hear that? Okay, one more, baby. Pick one more. Just one. No, pick one, baby. Just one, baby. Just one. Just pick one. Pick one. What you looking for? Just pick one, baby. Okay, there we go. All right, that one goes to Miss Tucker. Miss Tucker? Miss Tucker.
And here you go, little man. This for you.
Oh, wait. Miss Tucker, you got your ticket?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Miss Tucker, this gentleman right here is going to get your address and go hook you up your old security system. All right, very good. All right, thank you guys so much for coming out. There's some refreshments over here. There's some subs, there's some fruit, there's some cheese. Come and help yourself to any of this. But make sure that you vote before you leave, and make sure that you sign in before you leave. And thank you guys so much for coming out. and we will be doing this again. Thank you. Thank y'all so much for coming.